Right, welcome back everyone. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the high availability. So high availability for now, if you look at my topology, I do have only one vManage and only one vSmart and only one vBond. Now, if I have only one and one, so there is no issues with that one because whenever the branch device comes up, it will have only each connection with one. It's only have one connection with each of the controllers. That means 1, 2, and 3, three connections for now. Now again, three connections means it will be depending upon the color. So if I have MPLS and business, then three for MPLS, three for business internet, total six connections it will form. Now let's discuss like if you want to have an high availability now. Now you can have if you want to make an high availability with the vManage, you should have at least three instances of that one. Now three instances together are known as a cluster. vManage cluster. Now, and also that if you want to set up an high availability, one I'm using for the management, another one I am using for the transport, and there will be one more NIC that will be used for messaging. So that will be used for looking for the high availability. So that means it's going to send some messages every second, checking whether the device is up or not. All right. Now, these three devices, that's okay. That's fine. There is no problem with that one. But what if you have a vSmart, three of them, and also the vBond, three of them? And currently in the first situation, we'll assume that these all are located into one data center that will be DC1. So now I do not have any issues with the vManage and the vSmart because my edge device is gonna make a connection with each and every instance. So in this case, now what happens is like I am having three connections of vManage, three connections of vSmart, and now I will have only one connection with the vBond. I'll come to the vBond later on. Now, three connections with the vManage, that is on the one color. If you have two color, that means business internet and MPLS, then it multiplied by two. Or if you have any LTE or 3G or 5G backup, then multiply by three. So currently we do have only two, so I will multiply by two. Now coming to the vBond, now when I have multiple vBonds, this is where the problem arises. Because I can connect to my device to any one vBond at a time. So when you have a multiple vBond, so it's better to have the FQDN name. That is the DNS name. So instead of saying to my branch, okay, vBond equal to so and so IP address, now I will say that, okay, my vBond will be vbond.cisable.com. Now the problem with the DNS is that you need to have a mechanism which will help your branch device. So whenever it's going to query about the authentication of any other device, so vBond should be available. So currently it is registered for 172.16.1.3, and I also have 172.16.1.4 and 172.16.1.5. Now, if you have the Windows server, any version, then what happens is like with this name, you will assign it to the all the three IP addresses, 172.16.1.3, 1.4, and 1.5. But the problem what happens is like whenever it is querying for the vBond, so first packet it will send it to the first time it will send it to 1.3. Then the second time when the same device comes and inquiry, it will send it to 1.4. And the third time when it comes to inquiry, then it will go ahead and send it to 1.5. Now the problem here is that my branch device already know that, okay, my vBond is resolving to 172.16.1.3. So it will make a DTLS connection with that one. But again, so once it inquiry the other time, now this time the DNS says that it is 1.4, then again he has to authenticate again with that vBond. So multiple authentication repeatedly it is taking, and it will take a lot of time consuming. So using the Windows DC, or if you are very much better, then make sure that you do a load balancing over there. The other solution will be that if you have an F5 load balancer, So F5 load balancer, the front end, you will assign an IP address, for example, 172.16.1.20. So you will just resolve this IP address to one address that should be 172.16.1.20. But at the back end, you do have multiple IP addresses, multiple instances, and the F5 will do the load balancing. That's it. So this is how you can resolve. So it is very important you make sure that when you have multiple VBonds, you need to resolve its DNS issues before you go ahead and onboard the devices, because a connection with a VBond is very much important. Now the thing is that I do not want the tunnels to grow up. So currently you see that 2, 3, 6, 6, 12, 17, at least up to 13 tunnels I am forming that one. So again, 13 plus again one tunnel traffic is going by the ISP, another one is coming by the MPLS. That means another 3 will be formed, plus 3 and plus 3. So a plus 6. So altogether like 19 or 20 tunnels, those are formed. But do I require so many tunnels in first place? No, because I only need one connection with the vManage, which will be active every time, one connection with the vSmart, which will be active every time, and one connection with the vBond. That's all I need. That's it. So what you can do is that you can set it on the globally. So you can say to your branch device on the globally saying that, hey, branch device, just make a connection, single connection to each every device. Do not make multiple connections to different devices. And the command for that one will be globally. You have to write down the command. That should be system controller group, or uh, I will come to that one later on, controller group, but I will explain what do you mean by that one, controller group. So before that one, I do have a different command. Let me say, check whether it is that one. Yep. So different command, the one which you want to put it on the global to make the limited tunnels, that should be system max OMP session. So basically I will say that 1 or 2, it depends upon you, but I will say 2. So maximum session, I am saying that 2 because I want to make only one connection with this one and one connection with the vSmart and only one connection with the vBond. That will be the default. So you do not include over here. Now, maximum session, when you say 2, now this time what happens is like it will make only one connection and one connection. Now, instead of having these many connections, I will have only 3 connections. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, thing is that once you define these ones, so you're defining in a globally, but you want to define it in a different way. What if I have a different data centers, multiple data centers? So now what I will do is that I will just remove one vSmart from here and remove one vBond from here. Now this will be considered as a data center 1, and again on the data center 2, I do have another vSmart, I do have another vBond, and I do have like a vSmart 2. So 2 vSmarts over here and 2 vSmarts over here. Total I have 4 vSmarts, and 2 vBonds over here and 2 vBonds over here. Total I have 4 vBonds. Now the problem here is that again, my device is going to make a connection with each and every device on that network in the different data centers, which I don't require. So what I will do, instead of saying that, I will just say to vSmart, hey vSmart of the DC1, you belong to group number 1. And I will say to data center 2 vSmart, hey vSmart, you are belonging to group number 2. So what happening is like I'm just defining those vSmart into different groups. That's it. So nothing to do with the vBond and the vSmart, so vManage. It's only to do with the vSmart, because vSmart is very important. It is the brain of your network, because it has the control plane. It also controls the data plane. So both of them. It has all the information, including the policies, rules, and everything. So that's why we are mostly interested on the vSmarts. So now did created what I did was I did created the two groups. The group number one will belong to DC1 and group number two of the vSmart belongs to group number two. Now I said that we're using this command maximum session as two. That means my edge device will go ahead and make the connection with any one of those. That's fine. But instead of that one, I don't want to use this command. Instead of that one, what I want to say is that first go to the group one, make a connection with that one. If that is not available, then use a backup group, that is group number two. So to do that one on the branch device, on the edge device, you will uh, on the globally, you will provide the command as system controller group list. So this will be one and this will be two. So basically when I say one space two, one means preferred one and two means backup one. And now, for example, you do have a DC3 and you again have vSmarts over here. Again, you have vSmart. This belongs to group 3. And you don't want to give here group 3. So you do have any alternative option to go to the interface GE0/0 and say the same thing like exclude controller group list number 3. So here globally, when I say that system controller group list 1 and 2, that means 1 is preferred, 2 is backup. When I say exclude controller group list inside the interface, then it means that when these two are not available, then use 3 as a backup. So that's what it means. Now on the, what do we say? On the vSmart, if you want to make sure that vSmarts are belong to the right group, the command for that one will be on the vSmart, you have to issue this command. Because I want to put this DC1 vSmart into group 1, DC2 into group 2, and DC3 into group 3. So the group will be system controller group list number, and the number will be 1 or 2. So this will be system controller group ID and ID number 1. So when I say 1, that vSmart will belong to group ID number 1. If I say 2, belongs to 2, and if I say 3, belongs to 3. So with the vSmart, you are defining breaking in the vSmarts into different groups. Now it will go ahead and make a connection with group 1. If that is down, then it will automatically make a connection with group 2 and group 3, whatever which is available. Coming to the vBond, again, the vBond will be behind the load balancer, so it doesn't matter. It just need to make sure that the DNS is being resolved each and every time. Now coming to the vManage now. vManage does not go with the active standby mode. They are always in the active mode. So vManage is always on the active mode. All the 3 instances every time will be active. The only thing is that we just, when we create a cluster, we would just say that, okay, vManage 1 will be the primary one and these 2 will be the secondary one. That's it. But all the 3 at any point of time, they will be active. And to configure that vManage into a cluster, then we have to go back to vManage and go back to administrator, cluster management. Now this is where you have to define. So first thing you see that I do have the vManage one, which is a local host, and it is status is ready. The only thing I have to do is that I need to change this one, the local host, to that IP address. So once I change that one, then I can go ahead and click on add vManage. Then I can add the vManage 2 and I can add the vManage 3. So once that has been added, so everything will be synchronized. All the databases and everything will be synchronized over here. So to give this one as a IP address instead of local, just go to three dots and click on edit, and you should be able to provide the vmanage IP address over here. Vmanage IP address, select that one, provide the username and password. So once you select that one, it will restart the, it will restart the vmanage. And after that, once it restart and you come back here, then you will add up different vmanages. That will be vmanage 2 and vmanage 3. So now these are the things you have to keep in mind while designing your network, because the more the tunnels you create, the more the traffic you will be generating, unnecessary traffics, which we have to be careful with that one. All right. I hope you have enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.